Hello everybody and welcome back to Talk of the Town. My name is Brian Kelley and I'm here with the awesome Milton movie reviewer, Eileen Maher. Hello Eileen.
Hello Brian, how are you?
It's been a while. Are you ready to go?
It's been a real long while, hasn't it? I was speaking to somebody the other day and they said they watched the show and they said, a lot of repeats lately.
Over and over. Well, the pay's not very good, so we don't rush to production.
Yeah, there's a lot going on now, but hopefully we'll get more shows done.
We're filming this in opposite order, so so tomorrow I'm actually filming the segment on Thatcher Dairy. So.
Oh, fun! What are you going to talk about?
So the folks have already seen it, so they already know what we talked about if they tuned in earlier. I hope it was too, because I don't know yet, because we haven't got there yet. But all I know is I have to be at the dairy at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. So.
Are you going to milk the cows? Or that
Yeah, I think I'll milk the cows.
Are there real cows there?
Well, you'll have to watch the show.
All right, I will watch the show. You mean watch the whole show?
They're not fake cows. All right, let's go.
I just wanted to talk. Last time
That's why we're here. Talk of the town.
Talk of the town. Last time that we filmed, we were talking about a little bit about Mike Madden and the benefit that.
Oh, you went.
I did. I went. I just want to say what a great time it was, and I wanted to thank everybody involved in who was involved in organizing it and volunteering their time. Because boy, what a good time it was! It was held over the IBEW Electricians Hall on Freeport Street, and Tom and I got a chance to go. And
Tom is your husband.
Tom's my husband. Yep. And they had one of those silent auctions, and we won the coolest prize.
We won. They always win.
I know,
they
win.
They win.
We spent a lot of money for
it. The Foundation for Education says, I won all these things. I said, you did. Yeah. I went down and put my name as the highest bidder.
But,
what did you win?
Did you ever watch The Phantom Gourmet on the weekends with the Andelman brothers? They go and they talk about food. They're actually, do you remember Eddie Andelman? You remember the sports guy?
Yes.
You remember he had the hot dog safari thing?
Yeah, okay.
For charity. Well, his sons now do The Phantom Gourmet on Channel 38. And they're really, really funny guys. They talk about food.
Are you going to be on the show?
Candy. No, not quite that good. But we bid on and got the opportunity to go watch them tape a show. And the kids love the show, and I love the show. Tom loves the show, so I'm really looking forward to it.
We should have donated a chance to come on and talk of the town. The bids would
have
have
been
really.
Oh my God, tens of thousands.
Oh, sorry, Mike. Maybe next time.
But I did. It was funny, just seeing all the different things that were donated. There were some really, really high-end things. Somebody donated like a week on the French Riviera, which I thought was wonderful. And then people like me who donated. I donated 5 of my favorite DVDs. I'm just curious
Did anyone bid?
Who got that. Yes, actually that wasn't.
What was the minimum? Did you put a minimum bid?
No. That was raffle tickets. There was also raffle tickets, and there were bags.
Was
so
it Off the Black? Was one of those?
Yes,
oh
excellent.
Man, glad I didn't win that one. Oh my God.
Let me see what were they. It was Off the Black about the local hometown alcoholic umpire that I loved. It was Master and Commander Far Side of the Universe, Far Side of the World with Russell Crowe. It was Happy Gilmore. It was. Oh my gosh, I forget my favorite movie.
They're her favorite. She can't remember.
Zero Effect, and Once. So, if anybody in Milton is the
once, you only have to see it once.
I'm just dying to know what you thought of my 5 favorite movies. Okay, but anyway,
let's
talk about some.
How much do you think they got for that?
I don't know, because it wasn't. That wasn't a bid. That was raffle tickets.
Oh,
yeah. So I mean, it certainly would have gone for probably hundreds of dollars.
Hundreds. But I think if they, all you need to do is substitute me with somebody else for the movie review section, and people pay big bucks to be here with you.
I think you're right. Just to sit beside me at this chair listen to me drone on and on.
We have a studio audience, about 70 people here.
Yeah. So if you want to come down sometime and join us, we should start wrapping those up. That's a great idea.
Okay.
Okay. Let me
what
get
are we
to
talking about?
Lots and lots of movies that I've seen since Brian and I last got together. So I'm going to probably talk again briefly about a whole bunch. And actually, many of them I saw in the theater. And they're now either on DVD or coming to DVD.
They're in archives now.
And I'm going to say my absolute favorite one of the past 6 or 8 weeks is a movie called The Wrestler, and I was lucky enough to see it in the theater. I mean, I'm a big proponent of getting out to see a movie in the theater because it just, I don't know, it makes a difference to be here.
Because she's independently wealthy.
No, but you know what? And I know it does cost a lot. And we'll talk a little bit about how much movies, I don't know what they're thinking. The economy the way it is, it seems like the prices
with fewer
keep
people,
going
they're going to raise the prices.
Maybe that's it. But I did get to see this over at my very favorite local community theater, Dedham Community, where I know, again, I'll talk and talk. Real popcorn, real butter, beer and wine.
You advertise that place so much. You should get some free passes, you know.
No,
Have you ever pointed the guy to your website? You had at least 6 hits.
I'm happy to pay for my ticket. So I saw a movie called The Wrestler, and that stars one of my favorite actors of all time, Mickey Rourke. He plays a wrestler, Randy the Ram Robinson. And, you know, Mickey Rourke has kind of had an up and down career, lots of controversy in his life. You know, incredible early career with The Diner, Barfly, if you never saw that, with Faye Dunaway. That is one of his absolute best. He actually had a small cameo role in, what was that one with John Hurt and Kathleen Turner? Body Heat. Ooh, that's a hot one. Watch that some night with your honey. Anyway, this movie's called The Wrestler. It is rated R for sexuality, nudity, some violence,
terrible
and of course language. Mickey Rourke and Marissa Tomei, who stars as a young exotic dancer named Cassidy, strike up a friendship, I guess I'll call it a quasi-relationship, because it's in a strip club. She's a stripper. He comes in, he falls in love with her. She likes the attention, and she
all fall in love in the strip club.
Yeah, and she certainly likes the money, but she wants to try to keep her distance. But they do connect outside as well. And he's in the middle of kind of trying to rebuild his career. There's some really heartbreaking scenes where he goes to these local shows in gymnasiums or community centers where he and some other ex-wrestlers, or I should say wrestlers past... Actually, they don't even do that. They're wrestlers past their prime, and they're basically for autograph sessions. Mm-hmm. So you go and you pay like $5 at the door, and then you can go in, and if you want Brian's autograph, you know, he has his pictures in front of him, and you negotiate with him. Is it $5? Is it $10? Is it $20? It does cost. You have to pay.
Absolutely.
And just these heartbreaking scenes where you know, you have all these ex-wrestlers with their battered faces.
Is this ex-wrestlers of the fake wrestling scene?
You know, they don't give it a name. Like, I don't think they ever call it like the World Wrestling Federation. And I mean, you certainly know that wrestling is more drama than it is sport, but there's still a lot there's a lot of
drama. It's
physicality to it.
Oh, sure,
these guys really have to be in good shape. They work out hard. I think there's unfortunately a lot of steroid abuse in the sport, if you want to call it sport.
Shocked.
Anyway, a beautifully heartbreaking film about a wrestler trying to make a comeback, gets an opportunity to make a comeback, how he trains for that, the relationship with he and Marissa Tomei, who, again, he's a past his prime wrestler. She's a fairly past her prime exotic dancer. And the relationship between Mickey Rourke, Randy the Ram Robinson, and Marissa Tomei, who plays Cassidy, the exotic dancer, and also Randy's kind of estranged daughter, played by Evan Rachel Wood. Kind of an interesting backstory to that. There was all kinds of controversy, all kinds of rumors that Mickey Rourke tried to come on to this young woman. She's in her 20s. Mickey Rourke is, late 40s?
What, in reality?
In reality.
They should have filmed that. Did they have another camera going?
And I'm like, oh my. But I'll tell you, Mickey
He was really trying to make a comeback.
Mickey Rourke, who actually did do some boxing in between acting, some real boxing, and his face certainly looks like it's taken a few beatings. I found him never more appealing. He has the long, bleached blonde hair.
Kind of look like Eileen.
Yeah. He's in great physical shape, probably the best physical shape of his life. Just a really...
That's why you thought the young girl would be interested in him.
Well, I was like, you could call me. But just again...
You heard it here, folks, here.
Directed by a 40-year-old Brooklynite, Darren Aronofsky. He's done a couple of other things. I'm not familiar with his work, but because of this movie, I am going to rent a movie called Requiem for a Dream, and I'll review that next time. But just a really great comeback for him. He was, Mickey Rourke was nominated for Best Actor for this. He lost to Sean Penn in Milk, which I will try to see again next time, because I can't imagine a better performance from any actor than Mickey Rourke in The Wrestler. Heartbreaking, heartwarming.
Did he have in the movie, did he have an alcohol or drug problem?
Maybe.
Folks, maybe.
Yeah, of course, you know.
He should have been in Off the Black.
Unfortunately, fortunately he reconnects with his daughter, his estranged daughter, and they make some plans. But you know what? You can never get too far from who you are in this life. And he is a bit of an alcoholic, a bit of a drug abuser, and that holds him back. That is probably what held him back from being an even better wrestler than he could have been. But I highly recommend it. Not for the faint of heart. He goes so far when he's had it with. He's in the middle of a match to self-mutilation. He hides razor blades, and he'll cut himself, to get bleeding and stop the match. But the final scene in this movie literally took my breath away, and as I was leaving the theater with the tears, streaming down my face, I see the same guy every time I go to Dedham Community, I was asked how was it.
Does he work there?
Yeah, he works there.
I thought you were meeting somebody.
And I just said, wow, that was a great movie. So The Wrestler just came out on DVD. Aren't you lucky you don't have to leave your house? I highly recommend it. I would get it as soon as possible.
All right, sounds good.
Another good movie that I just saw this week out at Braintree, of all places. Braintree AMC, up at the top of the hill over there by the Sheraton. I rarely go there, only because I like the stadium seating in Randolph.
Sure.
Although I don't complain, the seating at Dedham Community certainly isn't stadium. It's an old theater, but
it's not a stadium. It's a hole. It's a big hole in the ground.
It doesn't matter. It's
a fallout shelter.
Yeah, but The Wrestler wasn't anywhere else. If you wanted to see The Wrestler, you had to go to Dedham Community. Now, Adventureland is kind of an indie movie, and the nice thing about Braintree is they will actually showcase a couple of independent movies as well. And I thought that's really progressive, and I wish that Randolph would do the same. They don't, unfortunately. Every now and then they will, but they don't. This is called Adventureland, and it basically revolves around a bunch of kids who work at... do you remember going to Nantasket, to Paragon Park?
No,
okay, you do, because you're from around here. It reminded me
They had pictures in
Paragon Park.
They had the picture in the paper today for the carousel.
God, didn't I love that place? It was so much fun, because you could go there and you can hang out, and you go to the beach and get something to eat, you can ride the roller coaster. Adventureland is Paragon Park, circa 1987, and it stars kind of a new kid. His name's James Eisenberg, and he plays a young boy named James Brennan, whose plans to go to New York City to get his master's degree fall apart when his dad kind of not loses his job, but loses some pay in his job. So they can't afford to send the kid to New York. They want him to, I forget where it was, Pennsylvania or somewhere, wherever they lived. They want him to stay at home. If he wants to go to school at home, he's got to get a job and he's got to pay. So he decides, I'm still going to go to New York. He has a friend that's going to help him go to New York. He's going to Columbia Law or whatever. He said, come on, you can come to New York at the end of the summer. Live with me. I'll front you some money. Just make some money over the summer. He gets a job at Adventureland. So this is a boy that's I'm not going to say a privileged boy. His family works hard, but he's done very well in his undergraduate career, and he's very literate, and he studies poetry. And
he's privileged.
Yeah, but not really. It's middle class.
I guess it just depends on what you consider.
His mom and dad are played by Wendy Malick and Jack Gilpin, and they were just so good. I just loved how, sometimes I think in this day and age we try to shelter children from hard times that we're going through, and if your child wanted to go to Columbia Law School, you would say, don't worry, honey, we'll do anything we can. Mom was just like, sorry, Dad's taking a pay cut. I'm doing the best I can. You're not going to be able to go there, so go to plan B. I just love the forthrightness of it, and sometimes life throws you that curveball, and if you're already a graduate of a college, it's kind of time to get out on your own 2 feet. And if you really want to go to graduate school, there's no reason you can't go to work and go to school at night, like so many of us do, Brian.
So what happened at Adventure? Was there an adventure at Adventureland?
Adventureland revolves around the antics of a whole bunch of 20-somethings, which I kind of liked. It wasn't teenagers, it's 20-somethings.
Because you're in the 20s.
Yeah, I'm still in my 20s. What it's like to work at the games, to be a Connie, how some of the games are fixed, how some... It was so much fun.
She liked it because she works at the Connie Hospital.
Yeah, and of course he falls in love. And he falls in love with a girl played by Kristen Stewart. And I'm sure you'll know that if you have seen the movie Twilight, which is the vampire movie.
Actually, I did see it with my
Okay, so you know who Kristen Stewart is?
No, which one was she?
She plays the young girl who falls in love with the vampire.
Okay.
Yeah. She plays in it, and you know what? I did see Twilight, and I'm not going to review it this time because I have a friend that I want to review it with because I absolutely hated it, and she absolutely loved it. Maureen Truex hopefully will be on our next show.
No, we can't have her over here. She's already been on our show, and our ratings dropped right after that show, so she can't come back.
Who else I really love in this movie? There were 2 Saturday Night Live alum characters, Bill Hader and Kristen Wiig. They played Paulette and Bobby, and they are basically the people who run Adventureland, and they are just hysterical. They don't take any baloney from anybody. He keeps a bat by his side. And if somebody's
regular people
time,
take the bat and break their legs.
Just a great 20-something movie. Wonderful 1987, 88 soundtrack. And you know what I really liked about it? I liked that these 2 characters, the young boy and the young girl, spend time together, talk to each other, and build communication, build a basis for a romance. I think so many films...
Foundation of a strong marriage.
Yeah, maybe eventually. I think so many films kind of cheat you out of that. You know, they'll show some chemistry or some scenes of attraction, but never get to what exactly attracts these two people to each other. And you get a really nice chance. Not that it's a talky movie. It's not. It's only 90 minutes. Which, you know, I've come to find, I think the best movies in the whole world are about 90 minutes. So Adventureland, it's rated R, it's not for the kids, but certainly anybody that was 20s and 1980s would really appreciate it, really enjoy it. And I just wish it weren't rated R because I'd love for my kids to see it. Lots of fun.
Why was it rated R?
Language and sexuality. Yeah, definitely language and sexuality.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, most of what I'm going to review this month is rated R.
And sexuality.
I'm going to talk about two together. One that just came out on video, one that's still in the movies, and they're very similar, and I liked both of them. One's called Role Models. It's now on DVD. I highly recommend that you get it. It's like a Judd Apatow type thing.
A what?
You know, Judd Apatow, Freaks and Geeks, and all those movies.
I'm missing all these great movies.
Anyway,
Sorry.
It's directed by a man named David Wayne, who's from Ohio. He's 39. It's basically his first feature film. And again, I don't know if you like to read. I find debut novels are almost always the author's best work. Feature films, the first feature film is almost always, I think, not always, but a lot of the time, especially for a director that doesn't go and direct 100 movies, who just does a few, the first is almost always the best. So I really enjoyed this. This is a story about...
Our first show was the best.
No, they've gotten better. It stars Sean William Scott, who you'll know from American Pie and a million other things, and Paul Rudd, again, another Judd Apatow guy from 40-Year-Old Virgin, and another movie, I Love You Man, that I'm going to talk about in a minute. Anyway, they play two friends. They work for this beverage company. It's kind of like a Red Bull, you know, those super caffeinated, super sugar, super energy drinks that I can't say enough bad about. And they get into some trouble. And they have to do community service. And the person in charge of community service is a woman named Jane Lynch. And you might not know her name, but you will know her face. If you've ever seen a movie called Best in Show, Christopher Guest take on the Westminster dog contest. She is unbelievably awesome in this. She gives them a hard time. She thinks they're just trying to do their community service, and their community service winds up being taking care of two young kids.
I saw the ad on TV.
Oh my gosh, it was absolutely hysterical. The two young kids are Christopher Mintz-Plasse, who was in Superbad, which I absolutely hated, and Bobby J. Thompson, who was played a little boy in Fred Claus, another movie I absolutely hated. They've redeemed themselves. They're in Role Models. They are hysterical. It just shows the transformation of these two guys working in a company and what it's like to take care of two kids, two very troubled kids, kids with no friends, kids with big problems, kids without good families. Just the two of them together, too. Sean William Scott and Paul Rudd have great chemistry, great buddy-type movie. I'd like to see them do more. But I highly recommend Role Models. It's on DVD. And if you like that, and even if you don't, I think you would love I Love You Man. That came out in 2009. It's rated R.
I want to know who comes up with the names for these movies.
I Love You Man. Directed by John
I Love You Man.
You're
supposed to be like crying when you say that. I love you, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what happens. He's a 39-year-old New Yorker, and this is his debut film. So two really good directorial debuts: Role Model and I Love You Man. And I Love You Man again stars Paul Rudd, who's been on the periphery in many, many movies. Weatherman. 40-Year-Old Virgin, what was that pregnancy one?
He was the weatherman in Weatherman?
No, he wasn't the weatherman.
Who was the weatherman?
Okay, Will Ferrell. But he's always been on the sidelines. This is a big starring role for him. He is this movie, and boy, is he funny. He bumbles along. He can't say his lines. He's very nervous around people. The premise is he's getting married. And I'm telling you, he is the best fiancé in the world, played by Rashida Jones, who's Quincy Jones's daughter. And again, if you've ever watched Freaks and Geeks, Judd Apatow's just incredible TV show. If you've never watched it, get it from Netflix, get it from the store. Freaks and Geeks. There's not a bad episode. It ran for one season, and every single episode is a prize. But anyway, she's from that. All these people are somehow related to Judd Apatow, and they've done lots of his stuff. And Jason Segel, who you'll know from Freaks and Geeks too, plays a guy named Sidney Fife. He's not married. He's very happy to be alone. He has a cool place, and everybody comes and hangs out. He becomes friendly with Peter Clavin, the Paul Rudd character, because it's time to plan the wedding, and he realizes, I don't have any friends. Who are going to be my ushers? I have a brother, played by Andy Samberg, who's hysterical in it. His parents are even better. J.K. Simmons plays his dad.
How come he has no friends? Is he a jerk?
No, but he's a very happy guy. He loves his fiance. You know, one of those guys that's just happy and content, likes to do his work, likes to come home and be with his fiance. That's all there is to it. So the big question comes up, she wants to have 5 or 6 bridesmaids. Who's going to be on the other side? And he starts to think, why don't I have any friends? Goes out in search of a friend, meets up with Jason Segel, who plays a character named Sidney Fife, and it's the misadventures that they share together. The biggest one being kind of a confrontation with Lou Ferrigno, the Hulk. Very, very funny. But it's a really good story about what it's like to meet somebody else, and not necessarily somebody that you're romantically interested in, but what it's like to have a friend, a good friend, who kind of makes you see the world differently, who kind of makes you take chances that you might not have ever taken before, and kind of open up another side of you. Kind of like I always say to
Brian. Kind of like us.
Yes, I say that. I don't know if I've ever told the story before.
I love you, man!
The way this all came
That's going to happen in the movie.
Yeah, I thought that I came on the show because Brian and I were talking one Unity Day many, many years ago when our daughters were in 5th grade going to 6th grade. Mm-hmm. We were at Cunningham Park and we were doing volleyball or
Mary Cohane introduced us.
Well, I mean, I knew you from before then.
Oh, yeah,
I knew you from years ago. From when the kids
were
little.
Way back.
When the kids were little in baseball, Coach Aarons, remember what a great experience
and
that
you
was.
have her daughter, his daughter this year.
Yeah, and I'm so happy that this is her second year.
Squash the bug, he used to say to the kids.
He's a sweetheart.
You turn your foot, squash the bug.
But anyway, we started talking to Brian and said, did I tell you I have a new show coming on cable? Brian, blah, blah. So I said, that's nice.
Brian, blah, blah, blah.
I said, gee, that's really funny. I said, my friends and I always try to get together on Friday afternoons and have a few drinks. We talk about what movies are you watching, what Netflix do you have? And he said, come on my show, do movie reviews. And I said, you're crazy.
She's all confused.
And it's been,
she said, do you have a movie review? I want to come on the show.
I think it's been how many years now? This has to be 2 anyway.
Oh,
right?
my
2
God.
Or so. We've been doing this. And I love it because it's a great excuse. I have to run out right after dinner and see movies.
Yeah, tell the kids, it's for the town. I'm doing this for the town of Milton.
Again, I Love You Man with Paul Rudd and Jason Segel. Rashida Jones plays the fiance, and she's just so understanding and she's so cool. And unfortunately, so many movies paint women as just horrible, witchy, bickering people, and this just paints a woman as the absolute perfect fiance. She says, you know what? Whatever you want to do, honey, you find the right friend, and he'll be my friend. And even when they run into some troubles, it all gets worked out. There's a lot of communication. And I loved her character, and probably one of the most positive female characters that I've seen in a long, long time. Especially when it comes to marriage and fiancés, there's all the baloney about I want this, you want that. So, 2 good movies. Role Models is on DVD. I Love You Man out in the theaters still. I highly recommend both of them. Again, they're rated R. Lots of language.
For sexuality and language.
Really crude. They're really crude, but what can I say? I love them. They're a lot of fun. I laugh from start to finish. I Love You Man was just good fun from start to finish, and Paul Rudd is a comic genius. Absolutely wonderful. Now, I'm just going to talk about a couple that I was really disappointed in. I just saw Monsters versus Aliens, and that's another DreamWorks.
Who won the Monsters or the Aliens?
Not me. I paid $23 for Noelle and I to see it, and that was at 4:40 in the afternoon. They charge now.
That's prime time.
When we first started talking about 3D movies, I told everyone it was $3 extra to pay for the glasses. It's already up to $4 extra, a fee, just to get the stupid 3D glasses.
My wife went to a movie and she said they didn't have to pay an extra fee for the glasses.
Well, maybe she didn't go anywhere around here. So for Noelle and I, 2 people, to see a movie at 4:40 in the afternoon, it was $23. So that's ridiculous. And it wasn't a very good movie. If it was a really good movie, I'd say, well, it's worth it. When it comes out, you'll probably be able to buy it cheaper than that. Again, I like seeing movies in the theater, and especially 3D movies. I've seen some really good ones in the theaters. And then 3D and the graphics in this will just blow you away. It's incredible to watch, but the story stunk. Basically, it centers on America is being invaded by aliens, and in Area 51, they've got a whole bunch of monsters that they've captured over the years that they keep here. And the one highlight in the film, the one person that was absolutely incredible, was Kiefer Sutherland, who's Jack Bauer from 24. And let me tell you, if you have not been watching 24 this season, you are missing out on the best best thing on TV. This is the best episode, the best season of 24 ever. Jack Bauer is my absolute hero. I absolutely love him. He plays General W.R. Monger.
I'm missing out again.
And he basically is in charge of the monsters. Oops, I forgot to turn this back on. He's in charge of the monsters, and unfortunately, they keep the monsters in like a jail-like facility, and they don't get outside much. And the newest monster is
they're not free-range monsters.
Is Susan Murphy?
She just totally ignored.
I'm running out of time.
Oh man.
Is played by Reese Witherspoon. Reese Witherspoon plays Susan Murphy, who gets hit by a meteor. That's right, hits by a meteor that crashes to her. Don't worry about it.
It's only the phone.
It's my agent. Turns into Ginormica. You know, she's
a
a 50-foot woman. It just was a terrible story. The way that they marketed it was that it was going to be a lot of fun. Seth Rogen plays Bob, B-O-B, and I forget what it stands for. The 3D has come so far, and the glasses are wonderful. And you do sit there and you're just blown away by the effects. But you know what? There's a whole lot more that goes into a movie than effects. If you don't have a halfway decent story, and believe me, this movie does not have a halfway decent story, then you are absolutely lost. You can throw all the effects at me that you want, and I'm going to sit there and just want to scream.
She's not a girl that's impressed with chest.
No, I'm not. Out of time. I have a bunch more to talk about.
All right, say goodbye to the folks at home.
Anymore. Next time, hopefully. So again, if you take anything away from tonight, rent The Wrestler, rent Role Models,
glasses.
Go see I Love You Man.
I love you, man.
Don't waste your time on Monsters vs. Aliens. An absolute disgrace. And DreamWorks has just fallen off the face of the earth as far as I'm concerned. They haven't been a good movie in a long time. Absolutely awful. So anyway, that's it.
Thank you.
Watch some good shows, and we'll see you soon.
And order your milk from Thatcher Farms.
That's right. What do you milk from Thatcher Farms?
Thank you for watching Talk of the Town. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.